Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Welcome again to our Sunday meeting. Reading from Salinur. Inshallah, we're going to continue reading 22nd letters where we left off from last week. Again, we're here with Colin from UK and Himadajan from Arizona. All right, I hope everyone is doing well. Let's begin. 22nd letters. So here's just a little quick highlights from last week, what we talked about so far. Reading from so we talked about the aspects of the treatise that we're reading: reality, wisdom, spiritual life, wisdom of Islam, social life, and personal life are the ones that counted as the aspects, 6 aspects. And the precept we talked about: show enmity to your evil commanding soul, which harms you the most. And we talked about how just important it is to try to amend it if we want to defeat our adversary. Respond to his bad treatment with goodness is another good advice that we got. And if you respond with goodness, he becomes your friend. So whoever, of course, just now responding the other way around. And it often happens that if we tell an evil man, so you're good and you're good, and he becomes good. And if we tell a good man, you're evil and evil, and he becomes evil, is another important lesson that we learn. And for covetousness, first smashes the covetous person, burns and destroys him. The worldly beauty, strength, rank, and wealth as rival are transient and temporary is another one that just a reminder for all of us. And what else we discussed? When he feels glad when calamities visit his adversary and his sorrow, when blessings come to him, thus taking offense at divine determination and mercy due to their favors on that person is another one that we talked about. And bad characters and character vile traits do not cause harm if their effects are not exhibited and one does not engage in what they call for, such as backbiting. And finally, the turning to Allah in repentance, tawbah in a concealed way, and asking for forgiveness, for His forgiveness, istighfar internally, is the one of the last important, I believe, uh, parts that we discussed, I think, last week. All right, inshallah, we're gonna continue from I believe, well, what page was it? Was just much on the room? It was 20, no, 19, was it?
We continue fifth aspect. 2 pages before fifth aspect. Yes. Fifth aspect. One more page before. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wa salatu wa salam ala rasulina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Fifth aspect. This illustrates that obstinacy and partisanship are utterly harmful to social life. So the fifth aspect is talking about this, illustrates that obstinacy and partisanship are utterly harmful to social life. If it is said, it is narrated in the hadith, اختلاف ummati rahmatu, differing among my ummah is mercy. Differing calls for partisanship. Moreover, the disease of partisanship protects the oppressed common folk from the evil of the oppressive elites. For if the elite of a town or village agreed, they could tyrannize the oppressed common folk. If there is partisanship, the oppressed take refuge with one of the parties and save themselves. Moreover, complete reality appears from the clash of ideas and the differing of intellects. Answer: we respond to the first question thus. The differing mentioned in the hadith is positive differing. That is, everybody works to fix and promote their own way, not to destroy and abrogate that of others. Rather, they try to perfect and amend the ways of others. As for negative differing, which is to try to destroy each other with malicious enmity, it is rejected in the view of the Hadith, for those who are at each other's throats cannot act positively. We respond to the second question thus: if partisanship is in the name of truth, it can be a refuge for those who are right. But the partisanship that is malicious and on account of the lower soul, as it is the case now, is a refuge for those who are wrong. It provides a point of reliance to them. For if Satan came to a maliciously partisan man, helped and supported his opinion, that man would call down divine mercy on Satan. If an angel-like man came to the other side, God forbid, he would be so wrong as to invoke curses upon him. We respond to the third question thus: the clash of ideas that is in the name of truth and on account of reality agrees on the objective and foundations, then differs about the means. It exposes all corners of reality and serves truth and reality. But what comes out of the partisan and malicious clash of ideas, that is, on account of the Pharaoh-like evil commanding soul, and in braggartly and fame-seeking manner, is not the lightning of truth. Rather, it is the flames of dissensions. For while agreeing on the objective is a requirement, no point of convergence can be found for the ideas of such people even on the entire earth. Because it is not for truth, it goes to endless excess and causes divisions that are impossible to reconcile. The state of the world is a witness to this. In conclusion, if the exalted precepts of love for the sake of God, dislike for the sake of God, and judgment belongs to God are not the guiding principles of action, discord and division take over. Yes, if one does not say dislike for the sake of God and judgment belongs to God, and does not take those precepts into consideration, he would cause oppression while trying to do justice. I'd like to stop right here just for now because I think the matter is a little kind of long, but I would like to listen our panelists just for now up until that part, just second when he's going to go to another example now. And I would like to ask panelists who would like to go first, Kolnajam or Marujam, which whoever would like to lead first.
Well, no, it's your turn this week, please.
There you go. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
This is difficult for me because this is a or maybe difficult for you listening to it, because
No.
this is a subject which has preoccupied my mind for the last few years quite severely. And again, subhanallah, Hazrat Ustad is 100 years in front of himself when he writes this, because this is exactly what's happening. If we look at the social, cultural, and the social political developments over the past few hundred years, actually, and particularly over the past 50 years, and excruciatingly so over the past 10 to 15 years, we see that partisanship is actually at the heart of, I mean, biased partisanship, not righteous partisanship. Because is it the heart of everything? It's at the heart of all politics. It's at the heart of all social movements. It's absolutely everywhere. It's in every corporation. It's in every university. It's in every EDI office. I don't know in the States, what do you call it? EDI?
Unfortunately,
EDI, yes. Equity, diversity, and inclusion, all of which is based on biased partisanship. It's not based on righteousness. What Ustad is saying is, for example, differences of opinion, when they are correct and with the right intention, can bring about great things. And we see from our scholars, if we go back 1,000 years, scholars would disagree with each other. You know, they would write something on a particular issue, and then someone would write a rad on it, radiyah, or a hashia, or something, and they would disagree. But they would disagree with sincere intention. It would come from a very good place, from a righteous place. And so there was inclusion of different ideas. There was diversity of different ideas, but it was for the same cause. It was for the sake of Allah. Now, today, unfortunately, anyone who backs my position, if I have a particular position and I'm not a righteous person, I'm going to accept anyone who backs me and supports me, however evil, however heinous, and however nefarious that person may be. And that's not just persons, but also groups, societies, political parties in particular. I hear it all the time. Oh, this party supports this, so I'm going to vote for it. Yes, it may support that, but it also supports lots of things which are completely degenerate and corrupt. Diversity, for example, diversity in the workplace is good if it means diversity of ideas about the job at hand. So if you're planning, for example, to build, I don't know, an apartment block, having different architects with different ideas and different understandings, that's diversity. But what diversity means today is that you have to have everyone in society along the lines of identity. That's racial identity, sexual orientation, and all other kinds of identity, disability. They all and gender. They all have to be represented. That's what they call diversity. So you don't have a diversity of skills and talents. You have a diversity of identity activists. That's all you have. And there can never be, as he says later, there can never be any kind of agreement between them, because everyone is coming with their own particular identity, with their biased partisanship, just to tick boxes, just to tick EDI boxes. We don't need that kind of diversity. We don't need that kind of inclusion. We can't include everyone. And there can never be equity. There can be equality of opportunity, but there can never be equity of outcome.
No, sir.
And all of these things are based on biased partisanship. Who is going to support my particular point of view? Whoever supports it, I will ally with them. And we've seen this recently in politics, you know. The left wing supporting Muslims, they've been doing it for years, and Muslims turn around and vote for them. I mean, it's been happening here for the last 30 years. Most Muslims in this country vote for the Labour Party because they see the same there. They vote for the Democrats in the USA, and the Labour Party here and the Democrats in the USA basically are lunatics who have policies which are completely inimical to Islamic ethos. And yet Muslims go out there and they become accountable before Allah by voting to them, because they say, oh yes, the Labour Party is in support of minorities, and we are a minority in this country as Muslims, but also they support lots of minorities that we would never want to include among us or ally with. So, you know, Ustad, you know, radiallahu anhu, really writing 100 years ago, is talking about what's happening to us today with this biased partisanship.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
that's enough for starters.
No, just it was great insight. It was really nice listening to you. And I'd like to turn to now Hikmat Hocam. What would you like to say on this point?
I just wanted to mention a couple of things, and
please.
If everybody was thinking the same thing in a group, or there is something that missing then. I think today, and I think in the hadith as well, as Ustad said, is that diversity is just giving some kind of how can I say, the using that the characteristics of the people, what is that the best for the people? And I will give some example. And for instance, that it is impossible to have a consensus, especially for some groups or the humanity right now. But what we are doing is that maybe that everybody is doing the consensus for the goals, and you can make the group and just say this is our group's consensus or the goal for this specific group. So that is going to give us some kind of like not to eliminate the minor's opinion or view, and also that the confrontation of points. And I'll bring one of the Ustad's sentence in sermon, that Hutbe-i Shamiye.
Yes.
Ustad clearly says that all the Muslim has to agree with the goal. This is necessary, and it is obvious. Last week, I was giving an example. When we put the GPS, I want to go from Tucson to Phoenix. There are 4 ways, but the goal to get to Phoenix.
Right.
And all the groups or Muslim has a one single goal, which is necessary to get to reach out the goal. Everything they need to get together and have the consensus for the goal. However, Ustad says that vesile or vasıtalar, just the instrument or how to get there. It is not necessary to get together or to have the consensus, and it is not only necessary, but it's not caiz değildir. I can just tell the exact sentence. Vesile ve vasıtalarda ittifak lazım olmadığı gibi caiz de değildir. It's not necessary. It's not jaiz. See that everybody's characteristic is different, or they are using different instruments to get the phoenix. I can use airplane. Some other brothers can use the bicycle. Some of them can use the motorcycle. And for instance, somebody is gonna be scared of the because of the high or plane or flying, and some people are going to be really comfortable using the car, right? That is obvious that what Ustad is saying, that our goal has to be same, but the main goal basis has to be same, but that the minor things it can be different. So this differences is going to be really helpful for the human being, and then just making it comfortable, and everybody's fitrat or characteristic is different. As we last week when we were saying as well that the one divine name is dominant for each people. Everybody's divine name is different. So based on this, it is going to be obvious that we can have a consensus for the goal, the main basis, but we can have some kind of little differences in that minor thing. That's what I wanted to say. And then the other thing is that I like to mention as well. If you just push the people that this is only my way and you have to use this way, or we can only fly, for instance, that is going to hurt people and social life as well. And again, Ustad is saying is that one of the reasons Jabriya and Mutazila type of mashab raised is because, how can I say, istibdadi ilmi, I mean that domination of one single thing. For instance, you can only understand the sentences this way. You cannot have understanding different ways. So this is clearly telling us that the diversity and diverse understanding sometimes, but within the barrier, Sunnah and Quran, it is going to be really helpful, and then it is going to be great for the human and for us as well. This is all I can say. And diversity, again, that the positive differences is always good if you are doing for the sake of Allah and trying to get the truth and what is the best and actually what is the truth thing. And then so that is good. But if you are just fighting, and if you put your nefes and other things that in the later paragraph it's going to come, then it is going to make whole group or the whole Muslim or social life harmful or distributed, or they are going to get really harmed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think this is for now. That's all I can say right
No,
now.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it for the comments. Yeah, really, just especially the point that you just raised. I really liked just having different thoughts and different kind of just practices, and of course, as expected from all of us. And inshallah, just and as you said, like the main goal is that example is really just kind of fitting, especially this part. How about maybe Aliuzam, would you like to say anything else before we move on to uh, next page? I think I saw his.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, please.
Yes, it has been explained,
Mhm.
my brothers, but I'd like to underline only,
Mhm.
emphasize. We can sometimes sometimes remind to each other among Muslim brothers that what are the criterions, indications of positive difference and negative difference. I think because these indications or criteria are coming from the Quran and Sunnah-i Seniyye. And that's why what are they to each other, inshallah, to remember and to remind the indication of positive difference. And as brother said, positive difference is natural, like universe is not only one color, as stated in the 24th word. Every human being, as brother said again, I want to repeat, each person is different, especially related to dominant name. If we remember these realities, we try to act according to the criterions of positive difference, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's a great comment on that. Yeah. And I would like to now turn back to Kolnijam. So I think he'd like to say something on it.
Yeah, just going back to what Hikmet
Please.
was saying about
Yes.
difference and means as well. It doesn't matter that the means are different, as he said. I mean, he can get
Right.
from wherever he is to Phoenix by bike, or he can walk, or maybe not walk, but I think it's probably too hot
Yeah.
to walk. But
Maybe drive. Yeah.
his point is a valid one.
Yeah.
But today we're being asked to all use the same means, and the means are apparently now no longer really important. What is important for people is why they're doing it. And it's not loving for the sake of God, disliking for the sake of God, and judgment belongs to God. It's loving for my own sake, disliking for my own sake, and judgment belongs to me. And we cannot have difference that's based on that kind of precept. You know, if alhamdulillah, that I took early retirement from university, because now I'm sure that if I'm going in, I'd have to be accepting people's pronouns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And people would be asking what my pronouns are. Now, this is something I think is a kind of madness.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not ready to submit to other people's mental illnesses and delusions.
Yeah.
But you have to. And then they say this is diversity, right?
Right.
It's not. It's diversity of personal opinion, personal beliefs, all of which are misguided. And we are being told that this is all in the cause of diversity. Diversity is using different means to get to the same goal and not obstructing each other. So if I want to drive to Phoenix, and if Hikmet wants to go by paraglider or by plane, I shouldn't try to stop him, because the point is to get to Phoenix, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I shouldn't say, no, you have to do it as I do it. And you have to accept, my madness. I want to hop there, right, on one foot. And you're going to have to do the same. Otherwise, that's a microaggression. You're disrespecting my uslub, my method. This is what we're faced with today, and this is what Ustad is saying. There has to be these precepts: love for the sake of God, dislike for the sake of God, judgment belongs to God. That has to be at the back of our minds when we are coming together on a project, when we are coming together, for example, in a retreat, when we are having a ders, when we are having a discussion. These have to be the guiding principles, not my identity, you know, not my gender identity or my racial identity or my ethnicity. These should not be taken into consideration. You know, why should there be proportionate representation on a university board, for example?
Yeah.
Why should there be 51% women on
Yeah.
that? Who says? You know, why should there be representations from various different sexual minorities and disabled communities? Why? And if
Yeah.
there's no merit,
Yeah.
and if they're not there to pool their skills and talents, if they're there just to tick boxes, that is not diversity. It's not
Yeah.
the diversity that Ustad is talking about. And unfortunately, this is destroying our work life, it's destroying our cultural life, it's destroying our societies.
Yeah, yeah, it
It's
is.
such
Yeah.
an important passage here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and all for the wrong intentions and wrong reasons and everything. So just, yeah, there's always some sort of kind of, yeah, ulterior kind of motive. And I guess someone like I gave great example for that, especially the merits and everything. So just can you imagine, like, I'm just for the merits, if someone, let's say a person is gonna get an operation done, are you gonna get the best doctor, best operator, or a surgeon, or just someone just for the, like you just mentioned, for different kind of reasons? Let's give this opportunity to someone else because so and so has to be on the sport or has to be on the surgeon. No, you want the best one to operate on. You're not gonna look at just like whoever this person is, right? But
That's a
just
great
with the
point.
merits, yeah, with the yeah.
That's a great point. It's like,
Yeah,
you know, we say, okay, blind people are unrepresented in the
yeah,
professions. So
yeah.
the pilot
Mhm.
of the next plane is going to be blind.
Yeah. No,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
would
Mhm.
you accept that? I mean,
No,
would
no,
you
no,
would
that's
I mean, you're
great.
not being
Yeah,
inclusive. You can't include blind people as
yeah,
pilots of planes.
right.
So this
Yeah.
notion of, you know,
Hmm.
equity, diversity, and
Yeah,
inclusion,
yeah.
as you said, is built
Hmm.
on the wrong
Hmm.
foundations.
Wrong foundation. Yeah, all the wrong foundations, wrong reasons, wrong. Yeah. But I guess like it always it starts like this way. So just, one by one, one by one. So I think it's just the old kind of just cliche that just kind of serves, right? Like that just the road to what was it again? Hell is just paved by the good intentions or whatever. So yes, I mean they're always using that sort of kind of intention, or just like, oh yeah, I have a good intention. I have a good intention one by one. Every time like you're giving in, giving in, giving in, giving in. So finally you just reach to some unwanted maybe just locations and what. So it's important to follow just these great kind of gatherings and reminders and be surrounded by with good brothers, inshallah, with good books like Risale and good Istad, inshallah. Always try to remind ourselves. All right, let's continue then. If I don't see any raising hand and everything, and I'd like to continue. Let's read more, and then maybe we can just talk more, and then also let's also try to think about like what Ali Jams also said, like the difference between positive and the negative differing, inshallah. All right, let's continue. Like so, Stad says in the next part, next paragraph. All right, an event with an important lesson. Imam Ali, may God be pleased with him, once threw a disbeliever to the ground. As he drew his sword to kill him, the disbeliever spat at him. He released the disbeliever without killing him. The disbeliever asked Imam Ali, why did you not kill me? He said, I was going to kill you for the sake of God, but you spat at me and I became angry. My lower soul got into the matter and wounded my sincerity. That is why I did not kill you. The disbeliever told him, I meant to anger you so that you would kill me faster. If your religion is so pure and genuine, it is the truth. Another event worthy of note. Once, because a judge showed signs of anger while cutting off a thief's hand, his just superior, who took notice of this situation, dismissed him from that duty. For had he cut in the name of the Sharia, the divine law, his soul would have pitied the thief. He would have cut in such a manner that his heart would not be angered. But it would not be hampered by mercy either. In that case, since his lower soul had a share in this judgment, he did not act with justice. A regrettable social condition and a dreadful social disease that should bring Islam's heart to tears. While it is a matter of common benefit, mashallah, to the society to forget and abandon internal enmities when external enemies appear and attack. And even the most primitive tribes appreciate and implement this. What is going on with those who claim to be serving the community of Islam, that in the presence of unlimited enemies, taking up position to attack one after the other, these claimants do not forget about particular enmities and prepare the conditions for the enemy's attack. This situation is a descent, it is savagery and treason to the social life of Islam. Maybe we can just stop here again, and we can go back to our discussion one more time, and especially this part, because I'd like to talk a little more. And these are, I think it's great kind of point, and maybe they are just very like I just there's this little kind of sincerity just kind of talk happen here. I guess like Ustad is going to also just give more examples, but we can maybe just talk a little more. Now I think Kulujan went first, and I would like to go back to him, and and I'd like to listen his opinion on these two or three great examples. Kulujan?
The examples that you've just given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the example of Imam Ali alayhi salam
Mm-hmm.
is well known. It's legion. We're supposed to do things for the sake of Allah, not for our own self. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing things out of personal concern and personal anger,
Mm-hmm.
then the sincerity obviously is attenuated,
Mm-hmm.
and clearly it's counterproductive. The same with the judge who showed signs of anger while cutting
Mm-hmm.
off a thief's hand.
Yeah.
It's not a personal thing against him. The thief
Mm-hmm.
has done nothing to the judge personally. The thief has offended God's law.
Yeah.
So one has to do, what one does. I mean, the Prophet ﷺ, I think there is a saying that when he was in jihad, he said, "I smile as I slay." So, as he was killing, he was smiling. Because he's doing what he's been told to do. He's not doing it out of personal anger. And the third one, this regrettable social condition, there is maslaha, that we should do things for the good of society.
Yeah.
But the fact is that if you go out there and if you look on Google and you see all the Google sheikhs, arguing about, people not having beards,
Yeah.
people should have beards, or ridiculous things like this, which are niche subjects for fuqaha in their rooms,
Yeah.
These, I mean, we are in a dire situation as Muslims the world over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Our deen has been colonized, our minds have been colonized, and secularized. Our faith has been secularized. It's been reduced just to a private faith. And there are so many enemies attacking us from outside, so many enemies trying to secularize Islam, trying to bring Islam into into the sphere of secular liberal democracy, by supporting us through interfaith endeavors, by allyship, by left wingers and right wingers allying with Muslims, winning their votes at elections, and all of these things. These are destroying us. They're destroying Islam for the next generation. And we are arguing about beards,
Yeah.
or, we are arguing about the respective merits of two different mazhabs. Is it better to be a Shafi'i or to be a Maliki? These are crazy. This is another kind of engineered madness, unfortunately,
Yeah.
that has gripped Muslim society.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, Ustad is describing our situation. He says this situation is a descent. It is savagery and treason to the social life of Islam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, great point, especially the one that you used, like that I like the word like that engineered. So like we should be awake of this. We should realize it, right? So it is engineered, and it is like the way that just somehow like someone who knows us, and yeah, he's using these like a little kind of just maybe strings and just to pull us like this in one direction or the other direction. So just, oh yeah, listen to Google Shay, or like you just said, so he's some YouTube like his personality or something. So I mean, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, great points. Yeah, thanks a lot, Kunal. Yeah, and how about Hikmarujan? Would you like to say anything else on these good examples, and or maybe another example that you'd like to share with us?
I think, yeah, thank you. Colin, I've explained everything, but I just wanted to add again that couple things is just again that minor or teferruat, minor issues or teferruat is not are necessary to just discuss. Instead, that our goal, we need to get together and have the ittifaq or just ittihad in one major goal. That's our goal. That's what we need to focus instead of just using our bias, prejudice, and everything that just this is like I said that previously, that if you say that this is the only way that you can understand this sentence or this meaning or the Quran ayats when they make the tafsir, if you say that this is the only way that you have to understand, that's a big mistake that we can just get stuck with the number of things. And Ustad is in, I don't remember Tulihad or Sunahad yet. He clearly said the differences in the understanding of meaning. So if you read, when you read the one single sentence, every single brother can understand maybe differently. But the main goal is that so there is the differences that to understand some of them, and even us, that when we read one sentences or one paragraph today, in a week later, that we will understand completely differently. That yeah. So instead of being fanatic, just stubborn in on one thing, like Colin Avi was giving an example, beard or something, that we need to understand the century people's like humans characteristics and fitrats, and we need to really clearly understand what's going on in the whole world or area. Then we can understand the differences or minor differences, what we call is the teferruat, right? I mean, this is not a main basis that we can discuss, and this is all I can say right now. And in order to just be on the same road and same focus within the barrier that I say Quran and Sunnah Saniya, that we need to understand our goal, and then the rest is just the teferruat, and we need to respect others, and we need to have a dialogue, and we can discuss, we can talk, and we can respect that what they wanted to do within, again, the barrier, the Quran and Sunnah Saniya. That's it. We cannot just judge because I'm thinking this way and everybody has to think that way, or I understand this ayah or hadith this way, everybody has to understand this way. I mean, ayah is clear, and then but they can make just completely different understanding, and if that is not supported by the hadith and other important items as well.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Yeah,
all I can say
think
right now.
I
yeah,
think Hikmet speaks very, very wise words there,
yeah.
but we can only accept them if he has a beard.
There you go. Yeah. So now, like, immediately, how just our attention, like, is gonna change, right? So, like, immediately. So, or just like how, so even like these words, how they are attacking, I mean, affecting on us. Like, oh man, yeah, just that's a good job there. Yeah, I really like it. Immediately, so you're just belittling someone or somehow, like, and just mean, and making all his like in a great talk and just sharing his ideas, and that like just for nothing. Oh, yeah.
It sounds like a joke,
Yeah.
but actually this
Yeah.
happened to me a few years ago.
He did it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, someone said, how can you I wasn't actually sort of teaching. I was just giving a paper at a conference, and someone said, why should we listen to you? I mean, he said it very politely. Why should we listen to you since you don't have a beard?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking, is this a dream? It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, yeah, yeah. And it happened to like a couple of my friends, like they were visiting some youth kind of center, and then they were giving like this talking about like the Islam and reading some Risale. And so they were getting a little kind of just, more kind of just, let's say, audience than before. And instead of like five like youngsters like listening, so now like it was 10, 15, and all of a sudden like some group of people, so they didn't like it, and then so pointed out the fact that, oh look, showed Ustad's picture. So look at this sheikh that you're listening and reading. So he doesn't have a beard, so do not follow someone who doesn't follow Sunnah. And immediately those youngsters they disappeared. Unbelievable. Yeah. But of course, yeah, everything just happens for a reason, and just with which we believe like it's from Allah. So just maybe it has a different kind of meaning. But yeah, but it happens like all of us, all around us, unfortunately. But the examples we're reading are so sensitive, aren't they? So look at this, like, why didn't you kill me? Because like, just now I believe in, so like now my evil commanding soul, my intention somehow tainted my sincerity. So look how sensitive Islam is, how sensitive we should be. And then, and in other words, like from even our work and at work, or it's like somewhere else, right? Like the same, we can easily get and or apply these examples to our daily life, our social life. And are we just acting upon our lower soul, evil commanding soul? Do we have our, or are we following everything just clearly, right? Are we doing our best to follow Sunnah, to follow Islam and everything? So are we carrying the sensitive heart? These are really great examples to follow. Yeah. And then of course I'm just forgetting about these like differences, like we just like the joke that you made, yeah, or maybe it's not a joke, but yeah, yeah, just so just because like someone doesn't have a mustache or beard or this and that, or maybe some sort of kind of a dress, no, I mean, yeah, it's not my job like to judge someone else, or like some let them like be whatever they are. So yeah, our goal is different. So and we have a destination to reach to, and I cannot busy myself with some small kind of stuff, because it is just making me just going away from my direction, my own goal. Yeah, so I cannot like I'll just forget about Allah, forget about my sincerity and other kind of just stuff that I'm following, and just get myself like just be busy with like how a brother dresses, or how he has a clean face or not, or something. So that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Any other brothers? Would you like to say anything else? Let me check the chat box or participants. Ali Hocam, are you there, or? Maybe I think he's not there. All right, maybe we can continue then. So, and maybe just a couple more pages and talk a little more. Regrettable. Where were we? Oh yeah. So a story with a lesson. The Bedouin tribal confederation of Hassani had two hostile clans. Although they had killed more than maybe 50 men between the two in this hostility, when another tribe, such as the Sibki or Haydari Confederation, came out against them, those two hostile groups would forget their former enmity and fight shoulder to shoulder without thinking about internal hostilities until they beat back that external confederation. Hassani, Sibki, Haydari are Kurdish tribal confederations in this context. So, all believers, do you know how many enemies have joined forces like tribal confederation to attack the confederation of believers? There are more than 100 of them positioned like concentric circles. While you are obligated to hold hand in solidarity to defend against them all, with malicious partisanship and hostile obstinacy, which in effect amount to opening the gates of Islam's protected domains for them to invade, befit the believers in any respect? Regarding those hostile circles from the people of deviation, dalala, and godlessness, ilhad, all the way to the realm of the people of disbelief, kufr, and to the world's fears, ahwal, and calamities, masha'id. There are maybe more than 70 types of enemies taking up harmful positions against in concentric circles and watching you lined up one after the other with rage and greed. Your powerful weapon, shelter, and fortress against all of these is brotherhood in Islam. So realize just how contrary to conscious and Islam's common benefit it is to shake this fortress of Islam with petty enmities and excuses. Wake up. It is narrated in honorable hadiths that dreadful and harmful persons of the end of times, such as Sufyan and Dajjal, will take lead of discord and the unbelievers, Zanaqid, and taking advantage of greed and divisions among Muslims and humanity, they will throw humankind into chaos and enslave the entire realm of Islam with merely a little power. O believers, if you do not want to be enslaved in a state of abasement, come to your senses, enter and take shelter in the sacred fortress of إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. Believers are but brothers. Quran 49:10. Against the oppressors who take advantage of your differences. Otherwise, you may not protect your life nor defend your rights. It is known while two champions are at each other's throats, a child can beat them up both. If two mountains are balanced in the scales, a tiny stone can upset their equilibrium and play with them, making one rise and the other descend. So, O people of belief, when your strength is reduced to nothing as a result of your avarice and hostile partisanship, you may be destroyed by a small force. If you are concerned about your social life, take the exalted precept of المؤمنين المؤمنين للمؤمن كلب ينيل مرصوص يثود بعضه بعضا. A believer to another believer is like stones in a well-stacked wall. Each strengthens the other as your guiding principle in life and save yourself from misery in the world and wretchedness in the hereafter. Oh, mashallah. These are great, great advices and beautiful. And without even just taking the time, like we have 10 minutes and we can talk more a lot on this, inshallah. Bulajam, what would you like to say on this part?
I think I've sort of said it,
Yeah.
with the Shaitan doesn't come up to you and say,
Mhm.
"Hi, I'm Shaitan and I want to destroy
Mhm.
your deen," right?
Mhm.
In all
Mhm.
his
Mhm.
awfulness and awesomeness, he
Yeah.
comes with a smile. He
Mhm.
comes in
Mhm.
the form of allyship of a
Mhm.
particular political party. He comes in the form of a particular minority who says, "We are also a minority and we support you Muslims in what you do."
Mhm.
It comes in the form of suggestions that we embrace interfaith
Mhm.
dialogue. It
Mhm.
comes in the form of sympathy for all those poor women in Afghanistan who are now
Mhm.
being denied education.
Mhm.
It comes in all of these forms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these are not, you say that the road to hell is paved
Mhm.
with good intentions. It's also
Yeah.
paved with bad intentions.
Bad intentions.
And
Yeah.
we have to try to discern the bad intentions from the good intentions.
Mhm.
Allyship with various groups is often is poisonous. And this is how they try to destroy us. It's very, very easy, you know. Oh, come to our interfaith dialogue. Oh, come to our talk on democracy, because we know, you know, Islam and democracy are so compatible. Or, you know, a science and mainstream science and Islam are so compatible, and people write books on them. Muslims write books on them with apparently good intentions. But actually, these things are destroying our ummah.
Yeah.
They are secularizing our deen, and we don't see them because Shaitan doesn't appear as his own self. He comes in many, many different forms. And Ustad says there are more than 100 of them positioned like concentric circles. But
Yeah.
we don't recognize them. We even vote for them, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we welcome them in because something in our nafs is flattered by the fact that, oh, you know, these nice people are going to help us. These nice people are going to support us. You know,
Yeah.
the whole Palestine issue. You know, queers for Palestine. I mean, come on, this is just a kind of craziness that is being imposed on us, and we don't see it. We say,
Yeah.
oh, aren't they so kind?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, aren't they so? They're such nice human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they are demons in
Yeah.
human form.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a joke actually. So someone said like, they said, "Oh, you can eat pork as long as it is slaughtered."
Yeah, as long as you say Bismillah when you eat your
Yeah.
bacon, you're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a beard.
Yeah. As long as, as long as you're with, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these are great points. Yeah, yeah, and this is like really nice. Yeah, and yeah, just we have to just. I think like this is one of way kind of educating ourselves, reminding ourselves, and talking each other, and warning. And at least I'm just when we are reading and when we are aware of at least something and making each other like known of it, right? So just hey, just this is what I saw. This is what I'm thinking. What do you think? So what is your opinion on this? Yeah, these are and the way that you start is just like you just mentioned at the beginning of our talk, our meeting. Yeah, is he's describing this age as if like he saw it and one by one and just in a way like kind of artist and he's embroidering it. Yeah, and yeah, we should be aware of all of these. Yeah, inshallah. Hikmet Hocam, would you like to say anything on this?
Colin, I have beard.
Mashallah. So then
Mashallah.
everything you say, I'm going to listen to and accept.
So as Ustad said, really, I think our goal has to be same. We do have a lot of enemies externally. Instead of fighting internally, as in Risale, it says clearly that if two big men is wrestling, for instance, a little baby that can, or a little young guy can just um, beat them up, beat two of them up easily when they are just arguing, fighting. So instead of just arguing and fighting for the furuhat or the minor issues, and as long as that we have to have a one single big goal and main goal and basis, and we need to move forward, and then we need to get together. And instead of arguing like a beard, I can give one example as well. Here in I was doing Kamet, and I don't know that in Turkey, right? We do have say everything two times. After Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Go on, and here brothers just do or say one time. And one of the brother from Yemen just he said, Hikmet, you know what? There is bid'ah and there's a lot of things, and we have to say one time. And I just said, I apologize, brother. That's okay. When I was little, that's how I learned. But I think that it doesn't hurt, right? I mean, we are Muslim, alhamdulillah. We said two times, does it hurt? And he thought a little bit, and then, yeah, it doesn't hurt, but we don't need to bring bid'ah to the. And I said, sure, definitely, brother. Thank you so much for warning. I mean, these are something, as Colin Abi was joking, that do you have a beer? Yeah, the people can, instead of doing this, that's how Jebri Mutazila, as Ustad said, is just, you need to do this. That's it. Nothing else you can do. That is just, I was giving an example, fanatic mind. And I heard from my brother as well that he was saying that the guy is about to die. They brought him from hospital to home, and but he's really fanatic of one of the sport, like soccer, like a Fenerbahce or Galatasaray. Okay, what he said. Hey, brother Colin, I'm gonna die. I know that soon, but if I die before the whole game or soccer game finishes, if Fenerbahce just wins, come to my grave and then just put Fenerbahce is number one. Just tell me so that I will sleep better. So this is how it is. I think that in our current world as well, and we need to respect and have a good communication. And as you are saying, and Colin Abi was saying, we need to respect each other for minor issues that not the basis. We need to forgive and respect each other, and communication is one of the things. And Imam Shafi as well. I think if Imam Shafi, if I remember correctly, he went to one of the tailors and he made completely different jubbah, I guess. And one of the, I don't know that I heard that from one of my brothers, but one of the arms is really long, the other one is short and or just narrow. And he said nicely that saying that, okay, my right or left or right hand is, you made it big because alhamdulillah, this is good, I can easily write, and then ink is not gonna spill or something, and the left one I can easily hold the other page and it is not going to bother. So that's what we need to do. I think it's hard right now because we have nefis, we have shaitan, and we were always talking, and they are always into us, and that is just bothering. We are talking about the social life, but think about it. And remember, the last week we divided into 4 groups. That if we have argument with the brothers, 25% is coming from my nefes, 25% is coming from shaitan. Not exactly 25%, but I did that example, and 25% is the divine determining, right? The kader. And there's little 25% from other brothers, and it's coming from nefis. Instead of just arguing, we need to be just saying, okay, brother, that's fine, and we need to just make dua for him. So there are a lot of things that is coming to us, and then coming to whole Islamic community. And instead of just getting stuck and being fanatic for the little minor thing or fuad, just our goal is the same thing, and then we need to support each other, and that's how we need to get together. And there is a Sirayat Qanun or law. What it means, or what I mean by that, is that when you are in the group or with the brothers that they live in Islam, they are positive action and positive opinion is going to Siraya. For instance, if you are in the room, somebody is smoking, that the smoking is gonna you are gonna expose that as well when you get out, and everybody is gonna think that you are smoking as well. So being together, instead of just bringing your bias, prejudice, and then saying this is Turkish, this is Arabic, or this is this mashab, this other mashab or something. We need to just understand our main goal and get together. It says that in the Risale, the last sentences is clearly saying that the other brother is going to be like wall for you. You can stand and you can just get the strength from him as you need. And in the hadith that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, well, when he gets a little bit bored, or not the bored, but doesn't feel good maybe sometimes, one of the things that he does 4 things: reading Quran, and then and taking wudu, abdest, and then also one of the things that he does is just talking to brothers. I can call brother Colleen, hey, Abi, you know what? I have this issues and that issues, and I responded that issue like that. And this is something makes you feel really comfortable. And today's young generation is always complaining. Nobody's listening to me. I'm all alone. These are the complaints. And being in a group, and whatever that the Islamic group that you are in, Tariqat, Sufism, and Tasawwuf, and Risale Nur, and Nur Jamaat, and we do have a number of the diversity, alhamdulillah, as well. Some of them are just writing, some of them are reading. There are groups in the readings, alhamdulillah. Everybody is understanding differently, and I'm learning from them as well. So being with them, that Sirayat Khan law is going to help you and strengthen you. And because our goal is the same. It doesn't matter that I have a beard or mustache or little tiny things. Maybe that is just the minor issues. And we need to forgive and we need to respect and open the communication and being transparent, inshallah. That's all I can say. I talk too much.
You.
I'm sorry.
No. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Any other last words or something from our panelists or anyone else would like to chime in? We can just spend a couple more minutes before we call it a day, inshallah. All right. So maybe we don't, but maybe I can go back to Jism Hojam. So maybe he can just make dua and inshallah we can complete this today's meeting.
Colin Hocam, anything to say, last words?
No, Hikmat's last words were amazing and a great way of closing the whole session. So I'd like to thank him and his beard.
We can inshallah make dua. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا لا تخرجنا من الدنيا إلا مع الشهادة والإيمان اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإخواننا في فلسطين وفي يمن وفي كل بلاد المسلمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة